What's up, YouTube? Fox here, and welcome to the July 1st ban list discussion by me. And hopefully this won't be 30 minutes long like all my other ones. So let's get started. Um, as I'm sure a lot of you know, the OCG July. I was about to say January. The OCG July 1st ban list, no changes, nothing, not at all, nothing happened, which I kind of hope doesn't happen for us, seeing as how this, because usually when Konami does update the ban list, they'll give a through date, and we don't have that. We just have the effective from. So hopefully they don't do the same thing that they did to the OCG. Hopefully we do actually get a change, and yeah, and here are going to be my thoughts. So first off, ceasefire. I don't really see its purpose at 2. For those of you who don't know what ceasefire is, it's a normal trap card, and excuse me, if there is at least one face down defense position monster, or yeah, if there's at least one face down defense position monster, then you can flip all monsters into face up defense position. Flip effects are not activated at the time, and then you deal 500 points of damage for each monster flipped by this effect. So I don't really see why it's there. I mean, Chain Burn doesn't use it, Nurse Burn doesn't use it, and those are like the biggest burn decks out there, the most well-known ones. So I mean, really, what's its purpose? I mean, majority of flip effect monsters would probably miss their timing, or at least the ones that say when, because you flip them up and then you deal damage. So the last thing to happen was the damage part. So I mean, there is timing also that certain decks would, miss out on. So I don't really see its purpose at 2. I think if it came back to 3, I think it should come back to 3, because I really don't see the purpose of it at 2. Next up, we have Sacred Sword of the Seven Stars, with all the big dragons banned and Odd Eyes getting some more support in future structure decks for the TCG. In the OCG, they're already out, I think. But yeah, in the OCG, in the Odd Eyes structure deck, Sacred Sword is getting a reprint for the OCG. So, I mean, I know we won't be getting the structure deck anytime soon, because I think since Japan just recently got it, we won't get it till like January. So, I mean, I think eventually this card should come back to 3, because you got the Red Eyes, you got the Odd Eyes. You got a lot of level 7 decks out there now that are nowhere near the power of the Dragon Rulers. So I think this card should definitely come back. It's the level 7 trade-in for level 7 for rank 7 decks. And then we have Dark Hole. And I feel like Dark Hole should come to 3, because no one's really using it. With Regeki back at 1, I really haven't seen Dark Hole played all that much with Regeki back at 1. So I think Dark Hole back at 3 would be fine, because I don't think anyone would run 3 Dark Holes and a Regeki. I mean, when it comes to consistency in space, I mean, maybe you'll be able to fit 1 Dark Hole with that Regeki, or 2. I mean, if you're playing a Billy deck, then yeah, you could probably fit triple Dark Hole and a Regeki in if you're playing a Billy deck. Or, I don't know, tier 3 deck. But yeah, I just think Dark Hole at 3, it's just, no one's really going to play 3 of it. I mean, look at Mirror Force. Mirror Force used to be at 1, then it came to 2. Then when it came to 3, no one played 3. When it was at 1, people played it. When it was at 2, I think some people played it, and then some people chose Dimensional Prison or Dimension Prison or whatever that one trap card is. It was like, do I choose this or that? I mean, so I think Dark Hole at 3, it wouldn't really change anything. Um, then we have Shien. In the OCG, Shien is at 3, which I hate Shien. I hate Six Samurais. It's the most hated deck for me. I hate this deck so much. I want to see it burn. I really do. I want to see Shien banned, but I know that's never going to happen. And I know with Shien Shien at 3 over in the OCG, I feel like it's a possibility that it could come to 3 over here. And then finally we have Summoner Monk, and this one I actually think should go up on the ban list, not down. I think Summoner Monk should go to 1. It's over at 1 in the OCG for good reason. And I think it's a really strong card, especially with the Clown Blade engine coming over here soon. But I think for the main reason, putting it to 1 would be good to help slow down chicken race decks, because Summoner Monk is an instant what's the card? Royal Magical Library from your deck. So I think putting it to 1 would help slow the deck down by 1 card, but 1 good card that could search out Royal Magical Library from your deck. And so yeah, I think it should be put to 1. And then moving on to what is limited right now, we have the 3 staple trap cards. We have Bottomless, Compulse, and Torrential Tribute. Now, I think all 3 of them should come to 2, because Pendulum Summoning, and OTKs, and FTKs, and just all those sort of decks, and just the decks that don't OTK and FTK but put up, like, I don't know what, a Stardust, Hot Red Dragon Archfiend, Draco Sack, for those decks that just put up such a strong field, and it's just basically you can't get over anything. So I think putting all 3 of them to 2 would be a good move. I mean, over in the OCG, Bottomless is at 2, and then Compulse and Torrential are at 3, which I would like to see that happen. But I think I think they would come to 2 before they would go to 3. So any or all of those 3, I would like to see back at 2. And yeah, I think it would just be better. And then next we have Geargia Gear. I have not seen Geargias in a really long time. I never played them. I didn't really much care for them. I didn't. I mean, I know Geargia Karakuris. I know they spam like a mofo, and I know, trying to keep this PG. And Gear Gear is one of the nice reasons that they're able to spam. I mean, I know it's a trap card, so you have to wait 1 turn, but and they can spam without it. But I mean, with it, they spam even harder. But I think, like I said, I haven't seen Geargias in months, so I think it's safe to say that the card can come to 2. And see where it goes from there. I definitely don't think it should come back to 3. Definitely not. But I think to 2 would be okay. And next up we have I actually have a list here off to the side. Dark Strike Fighter. This card back to 3 because it got its errata. It's not the same thing it was before. It's not the terrible flying metal machine that it was before. So I think it should come back to 3. And next up we have Dragon Ravine. Again, big dragons banned. And I think Dragoonities should, start getting their cards back. And by cards, I mean card, because I think this is the only one of theirs that is on the ban list. The only main one that they really use. So I think Ravine should come back to 2. Not 3 immediately, just bring it back to 2, see what happens, and go from there. But I think it should come back to 2. And then we have Monster Gate with Infernoids. Recently around, or not recently, they've been around for a set or two. But Konami's done quite a few like how to play Infernoid videos, so it's obvious that they do kind of like these Infernoids. And so I feel because of that, Monster Gate to 2. I mean, we have Reasoning to 3, I think. Right? Reasoning is not on here? No. Okay. So yeah, Reasoning's at 3, so I think Monster Gate should come to 2 for Infernoids. And, let's see, is that it for the limited list? Thunder King Ryo. Why is this card at 1? I mean, going back to the reasoning behind wanting to bring these, behind thinking that the staple card should come to 2, I think Thunder King Ryo should come to 2. We have it in trap form for Mistake, which is at 3, in terms of its no searching effect. And then we have a new card coming along called what is it? Wrongful Arrest, which is also Thunder King Ryo's no searching effect in spell card form, quick play spell. So I mean, really the only thing that's really holding it back is the Black Horn of Heaven effect. And Black Horn is at 3, so why is Thunder King at 1? I think this card should come back to 2, if not 3. I mean, call me crazy, but I mean, I really don't see it. I really don't see a justification behind it being put to 1. I think it should come back to 2, if not 3. And then last but not least, we have Inzektor Hornet. Inzektors are another deck that I really don't like, and I have not seen Inzektors for the longest of times. I mean, probably over a year I haven't seen them. So I think Hornet could definitely come back to 2. Dragonfly has to stay at 1 though. That card is, hell no. That card cannot come back to 2 or 3. It has to stay at 1. But Hornet could definitely come back to 2. Hornet could definitely come back to 2. And yeah. So next up, Super Rejuve. Going back to Dragon Rulers, they're banned. The only deck that can really abuse this that I can think of is Heretics. And I think Rejuve should come back to 1, and then seeing where it goes from there, maybe bring it back to 2, and maybe to 3. I don't know, but I think it should definitely come back to 1 because Dragon Ruler's banned. Heretics are really the only deck that can use this. Next up, we have, going back over to my list here that I have. I think that was it for the spell. Oh no, Harpy's Feather Duster. Now, I see this card reasonably coming back. I don't. If this card came back, I would not be shocked because in the OCG, Harpy's Feather Duster has been at 1 for with the July 1st ban list now revealed for them, it's been around for 3 ban lists now, 2 or 3 ban lists in the OCG at 1. So I think it should come back to, I know we have Regeki, but and I know a lot of when Regeki came back to 1, everyone was like, holy crap, why did you do this? It was like, it was a really big deal. It's like, Konami, why did you do this? This is a no, this is no. And then like a week later it was like, oh yeah, Regeki came back to 1? Yeah, it's pretty cool. It was like, it didn't really change anything. So I think Harpy's Feather does. I think they should test the waters and send it back to 1. And I wouldn't be shocked if they did. Alright, next up, we have Shockmaster. Now, I've said this before in my previous ban list, and I think the ban list before that. Shockmaster does not deserve to be banned. It's over. It's never in the OCG. It's been at 1, and I know I know I'm doing a lot of comparisons between our list and the OCG, and I know that we both have different formats and all that sort of stuff, but our lists used to be the same. We used to have the same one list, and we did split apart. We now have our own separate lists for almost a year, I think now. But there is still some influence that our list gets from the OCG. There is still some influence there, and sort of vice versa. But I really don't see the reason behind Shockmaster being banned. I know if you're playing spellbooks and someone Shockmasters you and calls spells, alright, you're stopped for that one turn. You can still, if you have a High Priestess in your hand and 3 spellbooks, you can summon her, pop the Shockmaster. Or you could you could summon or set Blue Boy, the level 2, and just set some macro. Or you could, there is still plays for you. Your deck would have to solely 100% rely on one card type, like Chain Burn. You call traps, that deck is dead. You would have to be a deck like that. The only the only non-troll deck that we have really that does only focus on solely one type of card is Super Heavy Samurais. That's a monster mash deck. So yeah, Shockmaster could shut that deck down if you call monster effects, and just there you go, you win. But most of the decks out there, they don't really rely on one thing. They rely on 2 things, and the most common is spell and monster effect. So, and a lot of the times they rely on both very heavily and very strongly. So it's like, no matter which one you pick, they still have the other strong option. So I think Shockmaster should come back to 1. And that's that. Because the card should never come back to 2, hands down. And the card should definitely never come to 3. But to 1 I think would be good. Next up, we have Thousand Eyes Restrict. 101 in fusion form. Simple as that. And I think it should just come back because it's easier to get rid of in terms of destruction effects when it comes compared to 101, because 101 does have that. If this card would be destroyed, you can detach one material from it instead. So I think it should definitely come to 1. And then last but not least, we have, I think last, no, we have 2 more cards. Cyberstein, which has been at 1, I think at least. It's either at 1 or 2 in the OCG for ever since the Cyber Dragon structure deck came out. And it really hasn't done, what it used to do. It really hasn't. I mean, what you would do is you would clear the board, summon this, pay your 5,000 if you had it, summon out Cyber Twin Dragon and attack for game, or Cyber End Dragon and limiter removal it and then attack for game, and that was what you did. But I think it could come back to 1 definitely. Now I know I did say before that Harpy's Feather Duster could come back to 1, and we do have Regeki already at 1. So I think when it comes to Cyberstein and Harpy's Feather Duster, I think it's either one or the other. They both deserve to be at 1, but I think it's just a matter of you can only have one or the other. And I really don't know which one deserves it more. I think they both equally deserve it. Though I think maybe Cyberstein has the more likelier chance to come back to 1 than Harpy's Feather Duster, definitely, since we have Regeki at 1. So, yeah. Last but not least, we have Stratos. Now, Elemental Heroes is another deck that I really hate, but not as much as Six Samurai. And I know Stratos, his effect does act, it's not once per turn, it's just when this card is summoned. So if you're able to loop him, spam him out, yes, you could destroy a lot of spell or trap cards, or you could do a lot of searching, but I mean, we do have Dark Mist, Dark Mist. I think the name of it is Dark Mist, Shadow Mist. I don't know, that new Dark Stratos. We do have him, and so I feel like he's kinda better than Stratos because I don't know. It's just the way that the card is built. I think it's better than Stratos. So I think Stratos could come back to 1. And I mean, I know there's that one wind elemental hero that you virtually cannot go for because the only wind elemental hero is Avian, which is crap. So I think Stratos should come back to 1. As much as I hate the deck. So yeah, those are the those are the changes that I think should happen to the cards that are already on the ban list. So moving on to the moving on to cards that I think should be put on there. First off, we have Burning Abyss. Now, I'm not saying all these cards should get hit. I'm just saying these are the likely choices that I see for Burning Abyss getting hit. Why not Dante? Because I don't know, I know everyone says Dante, 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 but I think it would be much more effective if they hit something in the loop. And now I haven't played Burning Abyss in a while, so correct me if I'm wrong on these 3 cards, but I'm pretty sure these are the 3 cards that are part of the loop going for triple Dante. I think that there's a 4th card, but I'm not too entirely sure. So again, correct me if I'm wrong, but I know Skarm's there, and I'm pretty sure Sir is, because this Sir is you get to special summon a Burning Abyss monster from the graveyard. Graph is you get to special summon a Burning Abyss monster from your deck. And Skarm lets you add one level 3 Dark Fiend monster from your deck to your hand at the end phase. So, I'm pretty sure all three of these are part of the loop. And I think all three have an equal chance to getting hit. Also, Fire Lake. I think Fire Lake should be hit to 1 because I think a lot of people would agree it's too strong of a card. I mean, it's send 2 face-up Burning Abyss monsters you control to the graveyard, then target 3 cards on the field, destroy them. Now, I know if a person that knows nothing about Burning Abyss would probably say, well, that's only a +1 because you're getting rid of 2 to get rid of 3. When in actuality, it's like a +5 or something for Burning Abyss because they don't care if you send them to graveyard, especially if you special summon Sir and Graph out and have Fire Lake. You're getting 2 monsters right back. It's a +3 at the very minimum, and depending on if it's your turn that you activate this, it's going to go even further because then you're going to go Dante, mill 3, and it's just going to be... Fire Lake is just too strong of a card, and I think it should be put to 1. And as far as the rest here, I think Graph should be hit to... I want to say 1. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but Insector Dragonfly grabs something from the deck. I think. Correct me if I'm wrong on this. And that's why it's at 1, because it can grab something from the deck, like and equip it to itself, I think. And Graph is kind of that. It gets sent to the graveyard, you special summon a Burning Abyss from your deck. And I just think that's, of the 3, that's the strongest effect, because it's an immediate effect. Skarm, you have to wait till end phase, and Sir is kind of like a Monster Reborn, kind of. But I think special summoning something from the deck is probably the stronger of the 3 effects. So I think Graph to 1, and I don't know, Sir and or Skarm to 2, and Fire Lake to 1. And yeah, so that's it for Burning Abyss. Next up, we have Necros. Necros are still dominating because hitting Brian Acta 2 really didn't do that much, except for make the deck cheaper. And I think the main thing that hit the deck was Prep to 1. But still, the deck is completely dominating. And I think it needs to be hit a bit more. And I think these are the 3 possible cards that could be hit. So, I know in the OCG, Unicorn is at 1, I think it is. And, I don't know, Clasolis might be on the ban list. I don't know. I'm not sure, but I know Unicorn is at 1 in the OCG. I'm pretty sure it's at 1. And I think Unicorn is the one that's most likely to be hit. Because, I mean, Valkyrius, really all it is a battle fader. I don't know, I think Valkyrius, I think it has the slimmer chance of compared to these two. I think actually in order from Unicorn to Valkyrius, Unicorn the most likely to get hit, Clasolis maybe, Valkyrius the possibility is there but not really likely. So I think if they're gonna hit If they're gonna hit Necros, I think Unicor's a safe bet because Unicorn lets you recycle Valkyrius, lets you recycle Trish, lets you recycle Bryanak, and so on. It lets you recycle anything in the deck. Classolis is basically your Manju of the 10,000 hands from your hand. You just discard it, get a ritual spell. And Bryanak was discard it, grab a ritual monster, I think it was. So I think Unicorn should be hit either to 2 or 1, and then if they're gonna hit Classolis at the same time, then probably just put it to 2 with Bryanak and call it a day. Next up, this is more for ritual decks in general, and that's why I didn't put these 3 cards with the Necros, and that is Armageddon Knight, Jin Releaser Rituals, and Manju the 10,000 Hands. Now, I know if Manju gets hit, it's probably more going to be because of Necros, and it's probably going to be to 1 or 2. Probably maybe 1 because it lets you search out anything in the deck, and it's only level 4. And then you summon Unicorn and you go for an Xyz summon and you do a lot of crazy shiznits. And Armageddon Knight is sort of the same deal. You summon Armageddon Knight, you dump Jin Releaser, and then you use Jin Releaser for a ritual summon, and yeah, it's kind of annoying. And I know a lot of people do not like the Jin lock. I know a lot of people don't like it, and especially that one person that went up against Patrick Hoban and lost because of a little loophole. So I think Jin should be banned. Manju to 1 and Armageddon Knight to 2. And I'm just going to leave it at that. Next up, Instafusion. Nodin is coming to the TCG, and it is going to be so annoying. So I think Instafusion should get hit to 1 now or next ban list. It has to get hit. It's at 1 in the OCG because Nodin's in the OCG, and I just it has to get hit to 1. If not this ban list, then next ban list. It has to be hit to 1. Next up, we have Mind Crush. Mind Crush it's a really good card. I don't know if people still side deck or main deck 3 of them. I think Burning Abyss still do. But it's a really good card, especially against Cliff Hearts, against Necros, against anything that searches. It's just they search out something and you activate this, call that card name, they don't even get to use it. Especially if it's like Cliff Hearts, they search out a scout, Mind Crush. Necros, they search out Trish or Bryanak or something like that, Mind Crush. It's also a really nasty way to just get to know what's in your opponent's hand. Because, like Burning Abyss or I know Dark Worlds aren't meta, but Dark Worlds also, it's a card to see what your opponent is playing, and then you discard a monster of your choice. You know, do you want to special summon? Do you want to search? Do you want to pop something? It's kind of a nasty card. So I don't know. Minecraft. I really can't give a number on Minecraft. Minecraft. Huh. Wow. Mind Crush. I really can't say whether or not it'll be semi or limited. Really, it's I think equal chance either or. It's one or two. I really don't know which one is the more likely. So, yeah, I think it has a chance to get hit because even though it does help fend off against those strong meta decks that search, it's also a way for some decks to just get to know what you're playing and then discard a card and get something free for discarding that card. So I don't know. I really don't know. Maybe the two, but I don't know. And then I think this is the last card that I have to talk about here, and that is Royal Magical Library. Now I know I mentioned this before with Summoner Monk, and this is because of the Chicken Race decks. This Chicken Race OTKs and FTKs, they're really nasty and really, really damn consistent. So I think hitting Royal Magical Library to 1 would be the best bet. Because I mean, banned. I don't know. I really don't see it. I really don't see it being ban worthy. But definitely to 1. I think the card should definitely be hit to 1 and just leave it there because with Chicken Race and Pseudo Space, with the Chicken Race Pseudo Space terraforming engine plus this, I mean, it's just the FTKs and OTKs are so consistent and it's so annoying. So I think Royal Magical Library should go to 1 and just leave it there. Don't unless something is done with Chicken Race and Pseudo Space, don't bring it back to 3. I'd be a little at 2. I think it should just stay at 1. It should be put to 1 and stay there. And yeah, okay. So that's that for those cards. So now we're gonna finish this off with my 3 what the hell comebacks. And first off, this one doesn't really have reasoning for it. I've said it over and over again, mainly because I would love to see it come back. It is such a classic card, and it's simple as that. I would love to see it back at 1, even though it'll probably never ever happen. And that is Pot of Greed. I would love to see just one format with this thing back at 1. I think it would just be crazy and insane and awesome and amazing. And I like I said, I don't think it'll ever happen, ever. But I can dream, just like Elemental Heroes dream of Stratos coming back. And so, next up, these two actually do have a bit of reasoning behind them. So, we have Premature Burial. And simply because it's Monster Reborn basically because it's a spell card, but it's Call of the Haunted because you can only special summon from your graveyard, and then you gotta pay life points. Now, granted, unlike Call of the Haunted, if it gets destroyed or if it leaves the field like compulsed back to your hand, the monster stays. The monster doesn't leave, it stays. So I mean there is that, but I mean it's 800 life points. It's only from your graveyard. And I mean I think it's more balanced than Monster Reborn, because Monster Reborn it's a free anything from your graveyard or your opponent's. And Premature Burial, it's your graveyard and you have to pay 800, which I know isn't really a lot, but still sometimes that 800 can come back and bite you in the butt. Sometimes. And then what was it? The other one was Sandgan. And that is because I don't know. This is more going off of a theory that I have that I've heard before from other Yugi tubers, and we have a mistake, shared ride, um, tour, that one tour guide or tour bus card that was a rare, and you have wrongful arrest. You have these cards that are the spell trap and the one monster card that are kind of telling a story, and Sangan is in them, and Sangan is always the main focus of the picture. Even if he's kind of in the background, he is still the main focus of the picture. And I think with the most recent card of him, wrongful arrest, I think I don't know. I mean, is that Konami saying we wrongfully banned Sangan? I mean, it's kind of just a theory. So I think maybe Sangan might be able to come back to one. I know compared to Pot of Greed and Premature Burial, he's probably the least like, oh my gosh, this card came back to one. He's the least shocking card, but he's still kind of a shock nonetheless because he was Tour Guide's original target. You summon Tour Guide, you get this, you overlay, and then before the rulings were placed on Sangan, you detached, something happened, and then you got a search. But then the rulings kicked in that Xyz materials aren't actually monsters or cards on the field, and therefore Sangan didn't activate, and yada yada yada. But it's still kind of a card that it's a level 3 Dark Fiend, and there's a lot of things going for level 3 Dark Fiends. Look at Burning Abyss. So those are my 3 what the hell cards: Pot of Greed, Premature Burial, and Sangan. Pot of Greed, like I said, being more of a, oh my gosh, I just want to see this card back because it's such a classic card. But yeah, so there you go, there you have it. My July 1st ban list discussion for the TCG, July 1st, 2015, that is, depending on when you are watching this. So yeah, there you have it. And I think we got about a week and a half till because week and a half, yeah, about a week and a half till July 1st. Maybe about half a week or so until the ban list gets revealed. So yeah, let me know down in the comment section below what you guys think. Do you agree with some of the things I've said? Do you disagree? Are there any other cards that maybe I might have missed out on? Because I'm sure there are a lot of cards that I missed out on. A lot of those obscure cards, like what was it? Let's see. I know that there was a card here that was like Symbol of Heritage. I never knew this card existed. So I mean, I'm sure that there are cards like that I totally forgot, that I totally didn't know about. So if there are, let me know down in the comment section below, and I shall catch you guys later. Fox out.